have few questions for the witness from the
Okay.
high table.
All right, no problem.
Yes. Mr. Barry, thank you for appearing for this is the second time, huh? Or your third time? The fourth time, rather. Yeah, put the mic on. Good. This is the fourth time. I remember your last appearance was you were asked to provide some documents.
Yes.
And then you were given a timeline to provide them. Did you? Were you able to provide those documents within the timeline?
Not within the timeline, but they were provided.
Not within the timeline.
Yeah.
And you know there is consequences for not providing documents within the timeline.
Yes, as long as you don't take me to mile two.
Huh? I don't hear that.
No, I will always endeavor to reach to abide by the timeline, but sometimes
But this one has taken too long. I mean, I remember when we put that order, that was almost a month or so, huh? If I remember, Counsel. That was a long time that we were expecting your documents to be provided to the investigation, but you did not.
no, not all of they were being provided as I get them. So some of them were provided within the time stip. A significant amount of them were provided within the time stipulated.
But what would be the explanation for not providing the rest within the time frame?
Trying to get them.
You are trying to get them.
Yeah.
So they were not with you.
Well, in terms of searching and also ensuring that what I'm giving you is accurate.
But that's serious. When we put the order, you could have told us that perhaps the time frame you set was short for you, and then you would have asked for more time. You did not do that, and then you agreed to that specific timeline, and now you did not provide documents within the stipulated time. And that has serious consequences. A very serious one.
I will endeavor to, if there are any additional requests, I'll endeavor to provide it within the time stipulated. Otherwise, I'll get back to the secretariat and tell them to extend the time.
But you know, just to be fair to other witnesses as well, when we ask for documents, and if they fail to provide those documents within the time frame, you've seen what we have done. The committee exercised its powers on those witnesses. And you are not an exception. And you will not be an exception as well.
No, I don't want to be an exception, but I am your guest.
Okay. We will do a determination on that before the end of your testimony. Now we have established that you failed to submit your documents within the stipulated time. The committee has established that. We will do a determination on that before you finish today.
Yes, some of the documents.
Yes, some of the documents. Yes. But we've asked for all the documents. And you provided some, and some did not come on time.
Yeah, not all of them.
So we will determine on that before we close today. Thank you. Counsel?
Okay, Chair.
Can we proceed?
Thank you. Welcome back, Mr. Barry.
Thank you, Counsel.
At the last adjourned date, where we left off was at the end of discussions of phase 1 of the sales, which were consist of or comprised of properties located in Banjo. And there were issues with the figures.
Yes.
Yes. That you needed to work on or provide an explanation to the committee on which one to take, because the reports, same report, however, the tables are conflicting with each other. Yeah. That is where we left off, but also we had proposed, or the chair had ordered that you take or you facilitate a site visit, rather guide the committee's investigators on site visits to the different properties that have been sold or are yet to be sold. We will also discuss that, particularly the ones that are yet to be sold, that are still listed on the website, and other things like, apart from the landed properties, we have the gold refinery that is still on the website as well. We would also discuss that, but maybe you can I'll let you come in here and maybe provide an explanation on the report and the conflicting figures, because where we have left off, and my stance is still that the figures conflict very well, and this is a report that you've informed this committee that was submitted to the Attorney General.
Yes.
My, before I let you just come in to make the explanation. When you submitted this report to the Attorney General, did he ever raise issues or questions about the figures?
No, we didn't discuss the report in detail.
But you did discuss the report with the Attorney General, or at least somebody from the ministry?
It was back and forth, especially the summary.
Okay. Yeah. But the issues of the conflicting numbers?
No, I don't think they went into it in detail.
Okay, all right. But please clear this point so that we can move on to other issues.
Okay. So I had shared a document called narrations. I don't know whether, so for each of the properties, I had given some explanation. I don't know whether you have it. So it starts with so we start with phase one, which is Banjo. So we have in Banjul 78A Daniel Goddard Street. And it goes together with 78B. So the 78A was included in the list of approved properties for sale. And it was advertised in the papers, and the deadline was 18 September. 3 bids were received, one for 2.9, the same person also through email, and then the third person for 0.6, and the highest was 2.9. But we had received instructions to put this on hold, pending a decision on what was to happen on 78B. 78B, the owner had requested the ministry, well, the task force to return it back to him because of the way it was acquired. So once it was returned to him, we were able to sell the 78A, which is actually an empty plot. So when we went there, we saw it. When I went with the team, yeah, we confirmed that it's empty. And we subsequently sold it to Ajib for 5.5. And we returned 78B to the original owner for 6. So that's number 1 and 2.
Okay.
78A and 78B. Then the third one is number 13.
Wait, sorry, let me just stop you there. So 78A was the one that was returned?
No.
78B?
Yes.
And 78A was sold to Ajib for?
5.5 million.
And when the other one was returned to the owner, they paid back?
They paid 6 million.
6 million?
Yeah.
Okay. Were these payments made in full?
Yes.
Okay. So both parties at each time just paid full amount, no installmental payment?
I'm not sure, but I know that it was full. It was paid in full before
okay.
Instructions were
Let
given.
me clarify. I mean, when I say full, I mean is one-off payment.
I cannot confirm that.
Okay.
But I know that
ordinarily they would pay to those accounts that you had mentioned the last time.
Yes.
The Dallasy account.
Your Dallasy account.
Dallasy account. And if we go through the Dallasy account, we can confirm whether these payments are made.
Yeah, you will. Yeah.
All right. You can move on.
Then the third one is Grand Street, number 13. A single bid was received from the famous Marker Consulting. I think he bidded for all the properties, but he never, the ones that he won, he never turned up. Then when he was informed, he didn't come. Then subsequently, because when we have a winner, and he doesn't turn up, we always leave the property on the website. So then Fanta Toure came and offered 2.6. So it was paid to Fanta. It was sold to Fanta at 2.6.
Okay.
So if I go to the fourth property, now the fourth property, it's one of the complicated ones. The fourth property is number 64 Lehman. So I will read it together with the sixth property, which is number 73 OAU Boulevard. So this property was included in the list of properties to be sold, and it was advertised. And a total of 10 bids were received, ranging from 5.3 million to 15 million. And Manex emerged as the highest bidder with 15 million. But the property was awarded to them on 28th September, and full payment was received by 25th of September. But there were two issues concerning the advertisement on the website for this property. The picture used for number 73A Lehman Street was incorrect. The address listed as number 64 Lehman Street was in fact number 73A Lehman Street. As a result of these errors, two separate bids and payments were received for number 73 Lehman. Now, when we visited this property, one would understand number 73 Lehman is closer to Picton Street. And because of the way Picton Street is, it gets a higher value. As a result of these errors, two separate bids and payments were received for number 73. But then the second highest bidder, who thought he was the highest bidder for 73, then took the matter to court. The matter was subsequently resolved out of court on the 5th of December 2022. And the property was reoffered to the second bidder at the highest bid amount of 15 million. Now, because the highest bidder had 15 million with us, he further negotiated to buy number 26 Buckle Street, and he was asked to pay the difference. So that's the issue of number 64 and number 73. So now that number 64, nobody had bidded for it, so it was still on the website. And subsequently, Mr. Jallo came and made an offer after the bid evaluation, and the property was sold to him at the guide price of 5 million. Number 15 Dobson Street. The property was advertised with a deadline of 18 September, and there were two bids that were received. The highest was our friend, Maka Enterprise Consulting, and he was the highest bidder. The contact person was informed, but he withdrew his bid. That meant the property was still available on the website. Seringai made an offer subsequent to the bid evaluation, and the property was sold for 3.65 million.
All right. So, Mr. Barry, let me just stop you there. We had looked into the bidders, the different bidders, but maybe perhaps you don't remember fully. But the issue was that when you calculate the sale figures, remember we did that here on air, and there were discrepancies in the summary.
Yes.
In the summary, but also if you go into detail into the sale price of each property, if you add it together, the numbers don't tally. That is why I said, can you provide an explanation for that? If you cannot, we can move ahead. Maybe we can revisit this particular issue, but I don't want us to, for the sake of time, I don't want us to revisit each property that we had, the process and the bidders the wholesale procedure that we had already done
Okay,
the
so
last time you were here.
so I can quickly explain.
Yes, if you can just explain that, then we can
Yeah.
move to phase 2 because we had stopped at phase 1
Yeah.
the
And
last time you were here.
and also it's a document that I've shared, soft copy.
Yes, we
Also
have it.
highlighting the difference.
Yes.
Okay. So the changes are number 78A, Daniel Goddard, should be 5.5. I believe it was 6. So the 6 is 78B. Okay. And then number 73A OAU Boulevard was 10.5, but it should be 15 because the second payment was made in 2022.
73A.
73A.
Okay.
And then Buckle Street was 18, should be 18. And 61 Daniel Goddard Street should be 5.1 instead of 2.9, I think. So those were the...
It should be 2 point?
I believe it was 2.9, but it's 5.1. 2.5, I don't know what was there before.
2.550.
Okay, it should be 5.1.
5.1 rather than 2.550.
Yes.
Okay.
So those were the, for phase 1, those were the changes.
The deeds for sale agreement will reflect these figures, correct?
It will always reflect
The proper figure.
reflect the proper price, yeah.
That's good. All right. I think that those were the discrepancies in the for Banjo.
For phase 1, yes.
For Banjo. Okay. Let's go to phase 2. Phase 2 is has the least number of properties.
Say that again.
It has the least number of properties, phase 2, as compared to the other.
Yes, when the least number of properties in terms of what was sold.
According to the physical report that you initially submitted.
Yes. So
hold on. Phase 2 is the properties in, not just West Coast, Carnifing municipality.
And West Coast region.
And West Coast region.
Yeah.
But it does not comprise of everything that is sold in West Coast region.
No.
Okay, so unlike phase 1, which were just properties limited to Banjo, phase 2 is a mix of properties in Carnifing and West Coast. And then phase 3 is also a mix of properties in Carnifing and West Coast as well.
Correct. It's always based on what was approved by the...
So the approvals were coming in phases.
Yes.
All right. So under phase 2, when did phase 2 start, the sale?
What I have here, that the deadline was 18th of October. So at 2019
For bids?
for bids.
Okay.
So probably it's either late September or early October.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You said the bid deadline for bids were late?
No, the deadline for the bids were 18 October.
Okay.
So you wanted to know when it started. So I
Yes,
said
when you
most
started
likely,
the sale.
yeah, I said most likely it might be end of September, like late September or early October.
Okay. And under phase 2, 5 properties were sold.
Yes, but in total, I think there were 16 properties. So it's part of the report also that I sent in the
Yes.
narration. I don't
Yes.
know whether you.
I have it with me.
You have it with you.
Yes.
Okay. So shall I just stick to the ones that were sold, or you want me to go through all the properties?
I would want us to go through all the properties, but maybe perhaps you just clarify. On your first submission,
Yes.
under phase 2, there are only 5 properties
Yes.
listed. But in your second submission, there's more than 5 properties listed.
What I have is still 5 for phase 2.
Look at the narrations. I have 16 properties. Even though some are not sold, but
Yeah, so for the sold ones is 5.
okay. Okay, that is why you have 5 in this first submission.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So let's deal with the 5 that are sold first, then we can go to the sorry, 18,100,000, and then sale price was 21 million.
Correct.
Now, were bids opened for this one as well?
Yes.
Okay. Like the other properties, did you also inform the Solicitor General about the bids that you had received? Were they opened in his presence?
All the bids were open in his presence and that of the Director of Civil Litigation.
Okay.
So if you look at phase 2, there's a common deadline for all those properties. So once they submit it, we now go to the Solicitor General's office and open it in his presence, and then we do the analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I go to the next one?
No, let's stay at Bakau. The valuation of this property,
Yes.
did you use the guidance of the commission's reports
No.
or the AG's that list that was provided to you by the AG?
No, we used a private valuer to do the phase 2 valuations.
Why was this done?
If you look at phase 1,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that if you, on average, if you take the average price, the sale price on average was 46% higher than the guide price.
Repeat that, please.
If you take the guide price and you compare it against the actual sale price, the sale price is higher on average by 46%.
Okay.
So we thought that probably the guide price was a little bit on the low side. And then we said, okay, look, let's do a valuation so that we'll get the best values. So you can see that for the second phase, the guide price, if you compare it with the sale price, the difference is 4%. The sale price is higher by 4% than the guide price. So you can see that the gap is now reasonable. Yeah.
And this was applied to all the other properties.
Subsequently going forward, yeah.
Okay.
Because the objective really was to get the best value.
Okay, this is reflected in the CFRO property.
Yes, I mean, there's a difference there. So the 21 compared to 18.1.
And the initial value being 13.7 million.
From the government valuation. Actually, I didn't go through.
You did not?
No.
So how did you come to make the decision to do another valuation if you did not take a look at the commission's valuation?
As I said, what was informing our decision was the gap in phase one. So I guess, you know, by intuition, we just believe that the valuation by Mr. Jones would be significantly higher. But I didn't go through to check what government valued for. I cannot remember doing that.
Okay, so for this instance, it might make some sense, but then if you take a look at perhaps what if there ever was a difference that the commission's valuation was higher than the valuation that you had received? Or even though you did not go through the report, you just expected that your valuation would be better than the commission's one.
That's what I believe, and I guess you've just confirmed that assumption that it is right. You can see 13 million compared to 21 million. So the gap would have continued like the Banjo. So you can see that we were lucky.
Okay. Go to the next property
the next property is 16 Kairaba Avenue. So the original bid was lower than the guide price. So we asked him at least to pay up to the guide price. But he was the highest bidder originally. But the highest bidder was a little bit below the guide price, and we convinced him to increase it to the guide price.
Okay. How did that happen? I thought if the valuations or the bids were lower than the guide price, you would just invite, or you would keep it on the website.
No. If it is significantly lower, but if it is close, we'll call and negotiate. Because the idea is really to sell the property, not to keep it.
Okay. Again, like all other properties, the Solicitor General and Director of Civil Litigation were aware.
Oh yes, I mean, as I said, the phase is we sit and open all the envelopes in one sitting. It's not as if the properties were sold one. No, we'll do so we'll advertise and then put all these properties. You get the bids, and then you go and open all the bids together, and then make the offer, and then they pay, and that is what is considered a particular phase.
Okay.
So it's not as if we just advertise. It would have been too expensive.
Okay, that makes sense. And then you have the third property and the fourth property are located in
Woodford Gardens.
Woodford Garden.
Yes.
Okay. They followed the same procedure. Another valuation was done.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Barry, let me ask. The last time you testified here, at the last adjourned date, you were asked whether you had any help or assistance in the sale process? Have you had any businesses, public officials, or any individuals assisting you in the sale process? And for the properties in Banjo, you said no, we did not use a valuer. You relied on the valuations done by the commission, and you were able to sell the properties on that basis. However, when you moved to phase 2, you said that more can be made, so you appointed a valuer. Who was this valuer?
No, we didn't assume that more can be made. But the valuer we used was Francis Jones. I think we talked about it last time
Yes.
we were here. And in terms of public officials, yes.
Please repeat the name of the valuer. The committee did not catch it.
Francis Jones and Associates.
Francis Jones and Associates.
Yeah.
Okay. And they did the subsequent valuations for all the other properties, phase 2 and phase 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they were understanding, the drill, what to do, and they were also working with the Aegis chambers and the sheriff in terms of giving people notice and also identifying the properties.
For these properties?
Yes.
Okay. Notice for the tenants or the occupants to vacate?
Occupants, yes. I'm not sure whether they were tenants.
Okay. Let's just say occupants.
Yeah.
Why was the valuer working with the AG chambers to ensure that these people or these occupants vacate the premises?
No, they will identify the property with him.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, sometimes they will need to go with security.
Okay.
Once the property is identified. But in terms of the eviction was solely by the sheriff, I believe. Well, asking people to vacate.
By the sheriff?
I believe so. We had somebody from the sheriff's office.
Do you remember who it is?
Yeah, Momodu Musa. We were working with Momodu Musa.
Momodu Musa Sisi.
I can't remember the surname.
Okay. Oh, we are receiving requests that you should perhaps speak up a little bit, or maybe bring the mic closer, a little bit closer to you. Yes. Sometimes the committee does not catch what you are saying. But apart from the valuer and those that he worked with, and apart from the Modu Musa from the Office of the Sheriff, are there any other individuals or other entities that you worked with in the sale process, identifying, of course, the AG chambers would help you identify the properties, their locations, but in getting buyers, perhaps maybe the website is not getting as much traffic. You have other people helping you?
No.
At no point?
In terms of the selling, no. We advertise in the papers and we put it on the website. I mean, it's a very interesting phenomenon. I mean, people know what they want, and there was no need for, after the first one especially, I mean, people were asking, when next are you bringing properties into the market? So it was basically just advertising in the papers and on the website. And I guess people were maybe within themselves through word of mouth, I'm sure. There was no need for a third party to help in the sale.
And throughout the entire sales of all the other properties, and even the ones that are still on the website to be sold, you received no assistance? None whatsoever. Very well. Let's go to the properties before we move on to the next property. let me ask, these properties that were being sold, after you receive or notify the winning bidder of their success in the process, you would notify the Attorney General or the Solicitor General for the preparation of the deeds, or were you had a counsel that would prepare these deeds?
We had counsel that was preparing the deeds, but it will always be given to the Office of the Solicitor General to review.
Okay. This counsel that was preparing these deeds, were they being paid from the proceeds of sale?
So there were two lawyers that were involved.
Okay.
In the beginning, we had Bandirabe Associate. So they had been working with the previous receiver. I think there was a transaction that they were paid some, I believe probably a retainership. So for a significant part of the deeds, I think for phase 1 and possibly phase 2, he prepared most of those deeds and he was paid through it was sort of like through the retainer. In the final phases, we had Mr. Amie and Associates to prepare. But then at that time, they had the Office of the Solicitor General had then changed the agreement to say that the receiver is responsible for the legal fees.
For the legal fee. Okay. And then how did you work that out with the Solicitor General? Were the fees to be deducted from your own commission, or were they to be deducted from the sale price?
No, not from the sale price, but from my own fees.
Okay, from your own fees, and then you subsequently paid the counsel that prepared the deed.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the for the second lawyer that
Okay.
was appointed. Yeah.
And did you ensure that every single individual or company that purchased a property, they did receive a deed?
I don't think all of them. I don't think the transfers are complete for all of them. I cannot say 100%. I think some of them the process is still in. It's still not completed for a few of them.
A few of them, or?
I think a few of them.
Did they ever, these buyers, did they ever approach you on the lack of execution of the sales?
Yes.
Or the delay in the process?
Yes, they have.
And what was the concern from them?
That the time it was taking.
It was taking too long.
Yeah.
Were you able to help?
Yes, once they identify, because sometimes we have bottlenecks at the lands office.
Okay.
Etc. Because at some point it needs to go there. But by and large, I think most of them have received their title.
Okay. And the facilitation of payment of the payments that the buyer is supposed to make, stamp duty, for example, before registration, are you ever kept in the loop for that process, or once the council has drafted and the signatures have been done, you are out of the process?
Yes, usually I'm out of the process, but you know that they cannot, the Solicitor General will not sign if stamp duty is not paid.
For registration or just for signature?
For registration.
Okay, of course. But did you ever receive information that there are properties that have been sold, but they have not been registered?
Well, I think that's the responsibility of the buyer.
Okay.
I mean, because then you are taking the risk.
Very well. I think we can move on to phase not phase 3, but phase 2, the unsold properties of phase 2. As regards to the submissions that the narration of phase 2.
Okay.
Yes, we have we have, sorry, 16 properties, 5 sold, 11 unsold. And some of them not valued. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. So shall I proceed?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we go to number 6, Old Joshua.
Maybe let's follow in chronological order, because sorry.
Are we not reading from the same? Because that's the narration that I sent. That's what
No,
I'm
that's what
from.
I'm looking at as well. It's
So,
fine. Let's go to number 6. There was something I saw in number 2 that I wanted us to get to, but it's fine. Let's go to number 6, then we can come back to that.
the property was advertised,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had a bid for 1.5. But the original owner had written to the Ministry of Justice with an appeal to buy back the property. And the receiver was instructed by the Minister of Justice to put the property on hold, pending the litigation in the courts. So number 7, Citro Products.
Sorry, before we just move on number 6. When did you receive instructions that the property should be put on hold?
After the bid. After the bid that was open.
Okay, so it's still on hold.
Well, they said that it's in the court, so you will see that this would not be in the website.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the other one, the next one.
Citro Products. So 4 bids were received, and the highest was 46 million. But we were instructed by the Ministry of Justice to return it because of challenges of relocating the army.
Okay.
So this was returned back to government.
This was in Yundum.
Yundum, yes, just next to the army barracks. So number 8, Bakau Kachikali.
Sorry, let me just ask. When you went on the site visits with this committee's investigation team, you did not visit that place, did you?
No, we didn't.
Let's move on.
Number 8, Bakau Kachikali. This was also advertised. Only one bid was received for 1.5. The contact person was informed, but he withdrew his bid. The property was put back on the website and is still available, but there's a squatter there who refuses to move.
And the issues of this squatter being brought to the attention of the Attorney General?
Yeah, always.
Always. But to this day, the squatter is still there. All right.
Then number 10.
Sorry. Is this property still on the website?
Yes.
And you've not received any other bids? It's been quite a while since the first time.
Yeah, I believe actually it's what we were waiting for was for the approval of phase 4.
Okay.
And then we'll advertise again in the papers. And then in the phase 4 advertisement, we will add all these properties that have not been sold.
Okay, so once you advertise in the papers and you receive bids or don't receive bids, after you just leave the property on the website but do not re-advertise in the papers?
No.
Okay. All right.
So I will want to take number 10, 11, 12, 13 together because they are all at Yarambamba.
Okay.
And they are all the same issue. They were sold, but the buyers were having difficulty to access because of squatters. And at some point, the Minister of Justice asked us to
withdraw. But let me just stop you there before you continue. I believe the last adjourned date when you were here, the chair of this committee did ask you about the properties in Yarambamba, that they were sold, but you had answered that they were not sold.
No, they were sold, but the buyers couldn't get access.
Chair, am I
So-
correct?
Yes, Counsel, you're very correct. I remember I asked this question, and I was specifically referring to the properties in Yarambamba. The response you gave was that they were not sold, because in fact I referenced from the website,
Yeah,
directly from the website.
they were sold, but they couldn't get access.
But something that is sold and the buyers cannot have access. If you are reporting that, you would say they were sold, but the buyers couldn't have access to the
Yeah,
property.
but because we returned them back their money.
You return the money,
Yes, we returned
and
back
now
their
it
money.
becomes
So
the
that's
property
why
of the state.
that's why it's still on the website. So that's why it's still regarded as not sold.
Not sold. Okay, that's correct. That was
But for the property, Hamza Barracks and the kind of thing garage, when it was not, when the sale was cancelled and the money had to be refunded, it was reflected in your reports. It is, if you want to, if you
Yeah,
take
no,
a look.
yeah, I on the Hamza, and so you,
Yes,
but you know,
kind of thing and Hamza.
but we had not got to phase 2 in terms of, so we would have got to this stage of explaining. This is time we are getting to
I know what you mean,
Yarambamba.
but for me, what we're saying is that the documents explain themselves for those two properties.
Okay.
It reflected that it was sold for this price, and then in bracket there was a small line that said the sale has been cancelled. And when you were questioned here about it, you mentioned that it was because the occupants could not be moved, and that is why subsequently Hamza Barracks, the sale for Hamza Barracks was cancelled, and same as Carnifing, it was cancelled,
Oh.
and not Carnifing, for Hamza Barracks, the sale was cancelled and the money refunded. It's reflected in the report, and I believe the chair, when the chair asked you, it's because the chair had information that at some point sale had taken place. But yes, you can continue your explanation. I think we've already established that for Yarambamba. There are 3 properties in Yarambamba, if I'm not wrong. Is it 4?
4.
Four,
Is
okay,
it not
yes.
5? Is it? No, 4.
4. The rest is Bijilo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess actually when the team visited, they did see those that are staying there.
Yes. So in trying to sell these properties and advertising them, your team would visit before putting these properties on the website or advertising it on the newspapers, correct? That is how you found the occupants.
Yeah, because what happens is we will visit and then we'll take photographs
Okay.
and then upload the photographs on the website so people will understand. Those that are not local or those that do not want to go to the site will have an idea
Okay.
of the location and what is there.
And all these Yarambamba properties, I can see for number 13, only one bidder. But this bidder was refunded just because the occupants could not leave.
It says here the MOJ rescinded its decision to dispose of the property and the payment was refunded as instructed.
But these properties are still on the website.
Yes, still on the website. Yes.
If MOJ rescinded its decision to sell, why is it still on the website?
Probably they reverse their minds again to sell it after.
Probably they.
Change their minds. Probably the committee change its mind again to put it on.
Is this the answer, or?
I guess one can ask really
Because
the issue of Yarambamba with the it's not a straightforward.
you know, Mr. Barry, here we want from you as the as the vendor on behalf of the government, as the receiver,
Yeah.
you were given a list of properties to sell, and you advertise as it's the procedure that you follow at all times. You advertise on the website, you advertise on the newspapers. Then sale took place. However, there were occupants that could not be evicted, and the sale was cancelled. If this for the other properties where sale was cancelled, it was not back on the website. Was it? Was Hamza Barracks ever put back on the website?
No.
Exactly. So if why is my concern now is that the first time the deadline for the sale, or not the sale rather, the deadline for the receiving of bids for these properties in Yarambamba was 18th of October 2019. That is 6 years ago. If the sale was eventually cancelled, let's say the sale took place in 2020, perhaps 2021. If the sale is cancelled and the property is being returned to the AG because of other issues, it should not be on the website anymore.
Yeah,
If it's listed on the website, it's because you have authority to sell it, isn't it?
yes.
So why is it still on the website?
Because we were asked to sell it.
You were asked to sell it.
Yes.
By the AG.
Yes. I guess probably they must have had subsequent meetings and decided, okay, still leave it on the website to sell.
You know what I don't like is the I guess or the probably. I want definitive answers. What was the instructions from the AG?
Is to sell. When I say, because I am not in the meetings of the ministerial.
No,
committee.
I'm not talking about the meetings. What
Yeah.
were your instructions? What
Is-
information did you
Yeah,
receive from the AG?
Once it is on the website, it must have, it's that, go ahead, it's for sale.
So payments were made to the receiver's accounts,
Yes.
and these payments had to be refunded.
Some of them have been refunded, but some of them, they used it to buy other properties.
Other property.
Yes.
And when they were communicating that the money would be used for other properties, was this done orally or was there written communication for it?
I am really not sure about that, but eventually we would write to tell them that these funds are used for, these funds that we've received is in respect of the property and the one that you've selected now.
How would you know that this person was going to select other property so that you can knock off the funds that they had already paid?
No, because if you remember the Manex situation, whereby he had paid 15 million,
Mm-hmm.
but then because of the issue, he had seen, okay, 26 Popul Street. So they would have seen probably something on the website that was advertised, not sold, and still available.
Okay.
So it will be something that is available on the website. May I proceed?
Yes, please.
Then we have Bijilo number 15. This was listed and sold to one Aliudem. It's also similar to Maka Consulting. He would bid and then not be forthcoming with the money. But eventually we were instructed to return this property to government for government use. Bijilo. The receiver was instructed by the MOJ to put the property on hold pending the litigation in the courts.
That is Bijilo 2.
Bijilo 2, yes.
Number 15.
Number 15. Number 16, this is a property that's...
Sorry, let me just stop you there. So number 15, you're saying that to this day, you've been asked to put it on hold.
Yeah,
and take it down from the website.
It's not on the website, yeah.
Anymore.
It wasn't advertised, actually.
It was never advertised,
Yeah.
but it was part of the list of properties that you had received.
Yes.
So, from receiving that list, the duration that you received the list and the duration you were told to put on hold and not advertised, was it a long time?
Now, usually when we get the list from the office of the
AG.
AG,
Yeah.
so we will draft an advertisement and send it back,
Okay.
and then they will approve the advertisement before we put it. But usually it's about a week, within a week.
But this list of properties that you received from the AG were all accompanied with a valuation price.
No.
Okay. Not all of them. Just the ones in Banjo
No,
had
no. Even the ones in Banjul, we looked at the
report.
the commission's report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the specific address? You know, for Yarambamba, and you have the number of the street number. But these Bigelow address properties, you don't have street numbers. I know not all streets in this country are numbered, but at least street names
No, this is exactly the way it was given.
given to you.
Mhm.
Okay. And in the site visits, this one is also not included.
In the site visits, no.
You did not. It was not visited. Very well. You can move. You can move on.
So Gunjur, it's the motel, and this was advertised.
Okay.
There was only one bidder, but we were asked to return it back to government.
And who was the bidder? Can you remember?
I think it's Miss Hadindao.
Okay. But it was not valued. It says guide price not valued. How did you intend to sell it?
I'll need to look again. I want to believe that it was valued.
Because the other property as well, but you said that one, the duration was short. Bigelow 2,
Yeah.
it was also not valued.
Yeah, because we were asked to return it to.
Okay. But that one was never advertised, but this one was advertised with
This
no
one was
valuation
advertised,
price.
yeah.
Right. You said you would look and tell the committee what the valuation price was. All right. I think that brings us to the end of phase 2. Or is there anything else you want to tell this committee regarding phase 2?
No.
Okay. Let's go to phase 3 then.
Counsel?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
It's almost 2:15. I don't know.
Yes, it's 15:15.
Maybe time for prayers and lunch as well. So we can take
Okay.
break for lunch and prayers and come back.
All right, we can take the break now.
Yes.
Before Mr. Barry says we are keeping him away from prayer
Exactly.
time.
So we can come back at 3:00. It's just 2:15. So by
Honorable
45
Chair,
minutes?
I'd say let's come back 3:15.
3:15, yeah?
Yes, because
Okay, that's fine.
Is that not long, Counsel? Please don't keep me here till it's dark.
we will not be doing that today, but you know, Council has a lot on her plate.
I can see that.
All right, meeting adjourned till 3:15.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.